I've been working out consistently for over the past 15 years. However, if I were to be honest with myself, I wouldn't say that I was truly consistent at fitness till maybe about 2 years ago. The reason I was inconsistent is because I tried copying what other people were doing. In my opinion, there are 3 other pillars of fitness that are just as important as going to the gym. And so in this video, I want to go over the systems that now make me consistent so you don't have to waste so much time figuring out yourself. Hopefully you take what I say today as inspiration and don't just copy what I do. Going to the gym was the first pillar of fitness that I figured out early, but there are still some important lessons here. Back then, our goal was to see who could bench press 225 pounds first. So that was all that was on our mind. I Googled a workout program called Arnold's Blueprint, which is a 6-day-a-week program. There was 2 versions of it. There's a cutting version and a bulking version, but basically it was a 6-day program, push-pull legs twice a week. And the program had so much volume in it that I think I only finished it ever once. And so eventually I entered university. That's also when I got certified as a personal trainer. I learned a bit more about managing my intensity, and I decided to dial back from the 6-day-a-week Arnold program back to a 5-day split. And so that time I was doing chest, back, legs, shoulders, and arms. That was my main program that I stuck to for the better part of a decade. And as I approached my 30s, that's when I started to find that some of my chronic injuries weren't recovering. And so that's when I made my next switch into the program that I've been running consistently now. So 4 days of resistance training and 2 days of running. You know, the number one question I get as a personal trainer, actually the number one question is, how do I lose belly fat? But the second most asked question is, Ken, what is the best training plan for me? How many days a week should I train? What kind of exercises should I do? What's the best split? What's the best training program? And my answer is always the same. There's no best training program. It's the program that you're able to stick with that is the best training program. And I know it sounds like a broken record. My program right now works perfectly for me, but it might be way too much for you, or it might be not enough for you at all. So the takeaway for training is you shouldn't pick the routine that you can perform on your best week. You should pick the routine that you can perform at your worst week when everything is going wrong. So if that's 3 days a week for you, 2 days, even 1 day a week, if that's all you can handle right now, then that's the best routine for you. And the thing about being the best routine is just because it's the best routine for you right now doesn't mean it's going to be the routine that you're going to stick with forever. Pillar number 2 is the diet. As an ectomorph, I was very skinny. I was about 125 pounds. And the first year of university is when I went from about 125 pounds to about 170 pounds. And you want to know how I put on all that weight? So I found this diet on bodybuilding.com. This was a bulking diet, and it consisted of 6 meals a day, like a mass gainer shake in the morning, tilapia, quinoa, and some vegetable, steak, hummus, salad. And then there was the classic chicken breast, broccoli, rice. And then there was 2 snacks. Oh, it was a Greek yogurt, berries, and granola. And then the 6th meal was another protein shake. That's how I went from 125 to 170 pounds. But what I didn't admit back then, the system that helped me gain 45 pounds in my first year of university was not me. It was my mother. She was the one that prepped all the food for me. And so the moment I moved out, that system failed. Fast forward to today, here's the diet plan that finally works for me. 2 meals a day and 1 shake. Noontime is when I have my first meal of the day. I will meal prep my lunch and dinner, and then I will eat my lunch. Then my second meal will happen when I finish my evening clients, and so I will have my second meal at 8 p.m. My fiance is not a fitness coach by trade, so her diet is a little more lenient than mine. And in order for me to deter myself from having her snacks, I will make myself this protein shake, which consists of unsweetened almond milk, scoop of whey protein powder, about 30 grams of oatmeal, 1 tablespoon of mixed nut butter, and half a frozen banana and some ice cubes. One of the top reasons I find my clients are unable to stay consistent with their diet is because they don't cook, or rather they don't give themselves enough times to get good at cooking meal prep. So whether it's frying it, grilling it, putting it in an air fryer, do it enough times so that your lean proteins actually come out tasting good. Because I promise you, if you can get just a little bit better, it's gonna make you so much more likely to be consistent with your diet. Supplements is also a very important part of this conversation. And so when it comes to supplements, what I found was what supplements you take is not actually the part where people mess up. The hard part is actually building a habit or building a system where you actually take those supplements consistently. For me, I try taking supplements by following the label. And so taking the supplements, some in the morning and some with food. That did not work for me. Then I tried keeping all my supplements by my nightstand with a big glass of water. And so when I woke up, then I would remember to take my supplements because I see them. But the problem with that was some supplements, when you take on an empty stomach, it gave me an upset stomach or even just made me feel gassy or bloated. And so that didn't work as well. What finally worked for me in my lifestyle, I take all my supplements after lunch. And that's the system that has been working for me basically for the past 5 years now. And so for the takeaway is you need to ask yourself, when can you actually cook? When can you actually eat? When can you actually take your supplements? And design your diet plan around that. And that's when you'll finally become consistent with your diet. The third pillar of the fitness lifestyle is cardio. I'm just gonna go right out there and say that I only really seriously started doing cardio in the last 2 to 3 years. And the reason was because my background is in bodybuilding. And a popular type of cardio in bodybuilding is incline treadmill walking. That was basically cardio for me. And the reason I found it hard to stay consistent with that is because number one, I'm an ectomorph. Putting on a lot of weight was not a problem for me. But secondly, because incline treadmill walking and strength training both happen in the gym. And I usually plan for my cardio at the end of the workout. And so if my workout runs just a little bit longer, I would not have enough time to do my cardio. The system that helped me eventually become consistent was when I finally started running. We have a nice community center in Richmond where I live called Minaru Community Center. And there's a nice Olympic track. The pavement is very bouncy. It feels really comfortable on my joints. What I found for me was it was much easier to stay consistent with running because of the environment where the running happened. There's always a lot of activities happening around the track and it doesn't feel repetitive because there's always something happening in my peripheral vision. If you find that you keep skipping your cardio, maybe it's not your discipline, that's the problem. Try switching to another activity that requires you to be in a different space. And you might find that when you finally make that switch is when you finally will be consistent with your cardio. Sleep is the fourth and final pillar of the fitness lifestyle. And in my opinion, it's arguably the most important one. So for myself, it's not that I was always sleep deprived. It's that I oftentimes, when I wake up, always wish that I just got an extra 30 to 45 minutes of sleep. I'd probably be averaging about 7 hours a night across my entire life. The reason I don't get 8 is because I've been setting an arbitrary time for me to go to bed. It's around 11 p.m. I would set an alarm at 10:45 p.m. which said go to bed. And when that alarm went off, even if I didn't go to bed right away, there would be a 15-minute buffer time where I could finish the episode that I was watching on Netflix. So at the very least, I would get into bed at around 11 to 11:10 p.m. However, that system broke the moment I ignored that alarm. The day that 10:45 p.m. alarm went off and I ignored it, it was game over because one instance of ignoring that alarm basically taught us or taught me unconsciously that that alarm is something that can be ignored and there'd be no consequences. Now, the system that's currently working for me, instead of arbitrarily just choosing a bedtime to go to sleep, we've added some ambient lighting around our living room, which comes in the form of different lamps placed around the living room. And these lamps run on an automatic timer. And so now, instead of relying on an alarm clock, I rely on a visual cue that's created by this lighting automation instead. And this system is working really well for me because both me and my partner are people who like to be in a well-lit area. So when those ambient lights turn off, it naturally makes us want to leave the living room and go to our bedroom. So the takeaway for going to bed consistently and getting enough sleep is don't just rely on an arbitrary number to go to bed. Design a system that's built around your lifestyle and your preferences, and that is how you're going to finally start getting enough sleep. So let me bring everything in this video all together, all the pillars. So the training plan that I could not stick to, the diet that I couldn't stick to because someone else was cooking for me, the supplements that I couldn't take on a consistent daily basis, the cardio that I always found myself skipping, and the bedtime that I could not commit to. Every single time I failed at one of these pillars of fitness is because I just copied what someone else was doing. And every single time I succeeded in being consistent was because I finally built a system or routine that is built around my lifestyle and my preferences. So the point is, there's no such thing as a person who's just born consistent. People who are inconsistent simply copy what another person is doing. People who over time do become consistent because they have built habits and routines that are actually meant for the lifestyle that they live. So if you made it this far into the video, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to choose one of the 4 pillars that we talked about and choose just one where you struggle to stay consistent. Instead of just Googling what's the best training program or what's the best cardio routine, ask yourself these questions. When do I have time to train? When do I have time to cook? Am I actually good at cooking? What kind of cardio do I actually enjoy? So that you can actually begin the process of building a system that is tailored to your lifestyle. And as I'm filming the conclusion of this video, it's also about to be 11:30 p.m., which means the automatic lights that I've set up around the living room are about to go off. And when they go off, whether I'm feeling disciplined or not, I'm going to be going to bed because I've built a system that helped me stop negotiating my bedtime every single night. Oh, you know what that means? It's bedtime. I'll see you guys in the next video.